Good morning, Ben.
Good morning.
How are you this morning?
Good.
You've been without your wife. Welcome, everybody, to our leader call for June. I'm really excited to be with you today, and I'm really excited to talk about some things today. This is Debbie Gordon, and you all know me, so I sometimes forget to say my name, but at any rate, so welcome. There's a lot to talk about today, and I first want to start again with what your wins are, what's working, what needs to be working better, and then I have some thoughts I want to share with you and lay out my plan for the month and pretty much the summer at large. So talk to me a little bit about what's working well, what needs to be working better, and let's start with that. Who wants to go first? Go ahead, Ben.
Okay, I'll go first. So I guess what's working well for us, we just the same thing. We do the same thing. We contact people and set up classes and reach out, hand out samples, follow up with people. So those same things we teach everybody are the things that are working, and they're still working. So that's good. We've had lots of classes lately, and people come out of the woodwork sometimes. Just need to keep on following up with them. Sometimes it seems very difficult, but sometimes it seems very easy. So there's ups and downs. As far as things that we need to be working, volume, we want to see if we can increase volume and excitement. I don't know. It seems like this is a more difficult time of month. Happy to see the 200 PV promotion.
Yes, that was awesome.
Hopefully with volume, people are excited about that. So that's my report.
Very good. Marie, you want to share what's working and what needs to be working better? Elena is on a phone call with Hele from Estonia, and I know one of her leaders that is the leg under which Hele resides. So she's unable to join us at this time. That was the only time she could make that work with Hele, 9 hours ahead of us. And so I'm really, really excited about that. Hele attended with Lekte, they attended the European Convention and are really excited to get going. There are now 2 diamonds in Estonia. I've always known these ladies were diamond material, and I've needed help reaching out to them. I do not speak their language. So I've done a lot with Google Translate. Really excited to get them going and support them as we possibly can to get them to their goals. So they're really on fire right now. So that's where Elena is. And then we have Dana is in Laramie, Wyoming, at the University of Wyoming, enrolling her freshman. And so she's unable to join us today as well. So, but things are rocking and rolling for Dana. She certainly has caught on fire with Deb Erickson's Sell and Recruit training, and she's doing remarkable. And so I expect to see Chelsea on here. Chelsea just came back from New York. I hope she'll join us. Dia may join us, and I think that kind of shares everybody. So go ahead. Marie, if you're there, go ahead and speak up. If not, we'll go to Wendy. Okay, Wendy, go ahead.
Hi, can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
I'm just trying to fill my calendar again. It seems like every time I do my presentations, I figured out why I'm not getting enough leads, because we get down to that final minute and I can get through that presentation in 30 or 45 minutes, but that last 5 or 10 minutes is so crammed and they're literally walking out the door. So I don't know how to overcome that. I need to move that lead part into some other phase of my presentation, but things are going good. I've got some excited things happening with Jen Ford, and Megan Aquino also is super excited. She's starting to share more, and hopefully we can get those people into actual classes. So I'm excited about your Tuesday offerings, your weekly offerings. We're going to connect to those. I'm going to use those as my backup because it's consistent, and I can't be consistent right now as far as the same day all the time. So I'm grateful to have that. I think that's really going to help.
Very good. And Wendy's going to welcome home her missionary daughter, who's her third leg.
Yeah, I've got a little bit of distraction in my life coming up, but it's well worth it.
Yes. So we're excited to be working with Megan. She loves these products and has been using them on her mission. So that's exciting, Wendy. Awesome. Very good. Marie, able to talk? Pipe in here when you can, dear. Okay. All right. So, So I have posted today, and we're posting up while I'm doing this, Tay is posting the registrations, but I posted today the changes for our weekly wellness classes. And I know that's bundling them up on Tuesdays right after Ben and Jade's class, but that's what we're going to do moving forward. So 7:30 p.m. on Tuesday nights, Mountain Daylight Time, we're going to be doing those rotating weekly wellness classes. Tomorrow night, we're going to be doing now you have your oils, now what? A lifestyle overview. And then the second Tuesday, we're going to be doing a live Q&A. Bring your questions and answers to the table. My hope in that class is to really show people how they can become a healer in every home. I'm really excited about that class. The third week is going to be a natural solutions class. Basically going through the natural solutions handout. So bring those who haven't been able to get to your classes, those who are consistently saying they're too busy, those who can better join us online rather than going somewhere for a class. Even follow up those contacts that you've had that need more information that haven't really made the jump in yet. So that would be a great class for them. And then the fourth week, we're going to do a specialty class this week. I was going to do gardening. I'm going to include gardening tips in this class, this summer essentials class on the fourth week in June. So that is up. And so I'm going to talk more about all kinds of summer things, because we are going from a very wet spring to a very hot week this week. We're supposed to be in the 80s, and we've had temperatures in the high 30s and 40s. And so we know that we're going to see a big season of bugs, and I'm already getting calls about that. Lots of bites already as the sun comes out, and so I'm like, can't hold off on that one until July. So I'm going to do that one this month in June, and I'm going to do some Facebook Lives to help move us through this month till we get to that fourth week. So that's my plan for this month, and July will be the same. First week, second week, third week will be the same. Lifestyle the overview first week. Second week will be the Q&A. Third week will be the natural solutions. And on that second week, if we have time, if I don't have a lot of Q&A, I'm going to go into a business introduction, okay, of the business opportunity. And then the fourth week will be a specialty class. Also in July, we're going to do a giveaway every day in the month of July. I would love for you leaders to work with me on this. If there are products that you always have on hand, I would love that. If we can get some, Ben, I would love to include the Australians, but I don't want to ship internationally. Marie, the Canadians are always very active in this group. I would prefer not to ship internationally with the Canadians. So if you leaders can help me with those shipping internationally.
I have a suggestion for that, Debbie. Sorry, I was driving earlier, so I couldn't chime in.
Okay, very good.
So we had like a lot of people participating the last time when we did that in February. And I would say it was pretty much a divide 50-50 with leads and then people who already had memberships. And so I was thinking that would also be a powerful way to introduce them to more of the consumable products. And I think from a business point of view, that would support LRP use as well. And so I was wondering if we could have it be sort of like alternating, where it's like the giveaway is an oil and then a consumable, oil, consumable, oil, consumable, and kind of alternating back and forth.
We could look at that. Absolutely.
Debbie?
Yeah, go ahead, Ben.
The products that you're giving away, they're just doTERRA products. Am I correct?
They're just doTERRA products. Well, you know,
So-
last time I did give away some swag.
Something from, okay.
Yeah.
The way we overcome shipping issues, shipping international, you just call it member services and say, I would want to order this from the Australia warehouse to be sent to this person.
Yep.
So we've been able to do that in the past. I don't know if they can still do that, but like if I want to send something to someone in Australia, I just have it sent from Australia. And this, you know. So anyways,
We did that too. That's how we got all our product when we were in Europe for that year too. We just phoned it in and then they just like manually, they just have to manually override the system.
Yeah.
But they can just access whatever warehouse and then ship it to whatever address.
Okay. We did run into a couple of issues with that when they were not available in that market. I can't think of now what it was. There was twice that I sent to Canada, and
that's true. There's a lot of
full price. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of products that may not be available.
Yeah.
But still, you could ship it from the U.S. I think it's $9 or something. It's not.
It was about 12, but this particular, whatever it was. Do you remember, Marie? What was not available in the Canadian market?
It was probably a supplement. Because we have very few supplements in the Canadian market. So my guess is probably any of the supplements. All of the spa products and all the oils are here. But of the supplements, I think we have LLV and 2 others, and that's it.
Okay. And so you get all your supplements through the U.S. warehouse.
Yep. And any oils that come in capsules are also not available in Canada.
Okay. Any soft gels?
No soft gels.
Okay.
Those are all accessed through the U.S. warehouse. And anything like Trim Shake, Terra Greens, any of those things. Pretty much under wellness, you know, like when you're in the back office and under wellness, we have Terrazyme, Deep Blue, Complex, and LLV, and that's it.
Okay. All right. Last time I stacked the deck a few times, Marie, knowing that I wasn't going to pull a Canadian for that particular giveaway. I may do that again. Okay. So we'll see what we can create. But I really want to do that again. I know July is going to be a crazy month for us. June's even more crazy. So I'm hoping to actually be on live each day.
Debbie, you know, a lot of people understand the limitations. So if a Canadian or an Australian wins, you could just call them up and say, hey, we don't have this in your area. Here are some other options I could do for you. And sometimes that works out better for people. Just, you know, work around it. Shouldn't be too difficult.
Yeah.
There are lots of options, I think.
Very good. All right, Marie, do you want to share what's going well, what needs to be going better?
Let's see. We had a team barbecue on Friday. That was very lovely. A nice time to like connect to everybody. I was thinking that this month I'd like to do a product of the month make and take class, especially since it's like a new oil that people are unfamiliar with. I'm pretty unfamiliar with it. So I'm totally open to suggestions if anybody has any that would be nice. I was thinking of making the Herb de Provence salt.
Oh, that would be a great salt.
Mm-hmm. So I thought that would be kind of cool. But I don't really have and then maybe some sort of aphrodisiac blend, using Summer Savory, but I don't have an actual roller bottle blend for that yet. But anyways, yeah.
You know, last Saturday, our class was, and you know what, the classes about green cleaning or, you know, reducing toxins, those seem to be the ones with a lot of make and take ideas in it. So you could do something like a air freshener spray, or, you know, a diffuser blend, and you just make the diffuser blend in an old 15 ml bottle, and then it's already pre-made. They can put it in there, something like that. We also did scented lotions. You could do scented soaps and bath bombs as well.
Those are great ideas. With the Summer Savory, I love the salts. There's a little bit of information that we have about Summer Savory. I don't know a lot. I know it's in the DDR Prime for a reason. So if you think about what we use the DDR Prime for, Summer Savory's got to play a part in all of that. So I'm going to assume that it's really supportive for cellular health and prevention of mutation. So I'm going to assume that. Really great for the digestive system. Go ahead.
There's a chart that Jade has on her website that includes Summer Savory as part of that DDR Prime blend, where it says, you know, basically why are these things in the DDR Prime. I'll see if I can find the chart, but it all has to do with, oh, here we go.
Bring it up, Ben.
Okay, just 1 second. See if I can share my screen here. But it has to do with oxidative stress.
Mm-hmm.
That's the role it plays anyways in the DDR Prime blend. Let me share this with you. Okay, there we go. I also saw a whole page on it on doTERRA's website.
Did you really? Okay.
Yeah. There's Summer Savory there. So DDR Prime prevents DNA damage, healthy apoptosis, and oxidative stress. It has the wild orange and Summer Savory.
I did see that it was a fabulous antioxidant in literature, but
Summer Savory. There was a whole page. Oh, there's the what do you call it? The product
PIP.
PIP. Yeah.
PIP page. Yeah.
PP. Yeah. But in the email that we got from doTERRA, it had a link to this page here. Summer Savory usage tips, take internally. So, powerful antioxidant properties and promote cellular health. Take internally, so they can put it in their waters. Help with stomach function, digestion. And it smells great. I like how they always like, seems like there's a lot of fallbacks. It's like, why did we create this island mint? It smells great.
Yeah.
Like, what is the?
And Summer Savory is just really rich.
Yeah, but Summer Savory, it's not a blend. It just has all these properties to it. So, but there you go. There's
really yummy.
got a link to the DDR Prime video as well. Here are some diffuser blends for you.
Oh,
And
great.
grilled chicken with Summer Savory. Woohoo! Diffuser blends. Island Summer, Gratian Garden, Summer Woodland. Wow. So I did a lot on the card diffuser blends, because, you know, that was the thing. It was still available, the Father's Day thing. So just make up a little bit of the card diffuser blend in a bottle, just a little bit, because, you know, it's sitting in the hot car. It's gonna kind of not be good for it. But yeah, so that's all I wanted to share.
Thank you, Ben. Thanks for taking us right to that. I appreciate that. Awesome. All right, so I am launching a new builder this month, a couple of new builders actually. Chelsea made a very interesting comment to me a couple weeks ago or I guess it was probably a week and a half ago when we had our chat, that I want to bring to the forefront of all of us. How many of you have, and I don't know if all of you have done this, have any of you, let me ask that question, have any of you transferred a new person into a builder spot?
Yes.
And how has that worked out for you, Ben?
Well, we've done it a few times. It's a strategy that, you know, I think I lost my sound. it's a strategy, you know, if you know, if you have someone that just doesn't want to do it, you can transfer the new, it has to be done. The person has to sign up on the same day that you send the email to, not compliance, placements for the transfer. You have to have the thing signed and everything. I really wish it was an easier process, but always on those things, call up member services to get the latest protocol on that. For some of our things has worked out really great, where we have a fantastic builder there, where there was, you know, someone who just wasn't interested in before. There was once we had a daughter under a mother, and they were at loggerheads, and so it wasn't working. And she, even though, you know, placing a 100 PV order would have earned her like $1,000 or so, she just wanted nothing to do with it anymore. And so we worked with her and got her transferred out, someone else in. One change that happened a couple of years ago that still people aren't aware of is that when someone is transferring out, they don't have to let go of their account. It used to be that they had to give up their account and they couldn't order essential oils for 6 months. But now, you know, when they're transferring out, they just move over to the side, and the new person moves into their place with all their downline. And also, we've had a, can't remember what it was, but they kept their same number as well. So we've had that happen before.
Yep, that's new, and gratefully so. I actually went to bat for my brother who moved out of a builder spot, and managed to keep his 30% intact. So that was a big deal. So now I'm glad that that's what we do.
And they keep their rank intact. So we had a gold do a swap with someone else, and they kept their rank too. So, I mean, their highest rank, not the earned rank.
Right, exactly right. Yeah, that shows up too. All right, very good. Thank you, Ben, for that input. So Chelsea's comment was, I'm in this position where I'm a silver gold, but I don't know what that means. I've never achieved that myself. And so I'm going to launch Chelsea with her business. Okay, we're going to start over and launch Chelsea to Elite. So she knows how to get to Elite herself. And so she knows how to get other team members to Elite. And so that's a big deal. So I think that's where sharing as a important step as we put people into a builder spot. All right, so on the Blue Diamond and Presidential Diamond page, we had Tanya Cotterell post a video that was very well put together. And so I want to share some of that information with you all today, because we're all kind of in this same bit of struggle where we're moving again, trying to build momentum, having some of our leaders fall off or fall back in activity of actively building, and kind of falling back into maybe an occasional sharer again instead of an active builder again. And she had some really, really great points. So I want to share some of that with you. So first of all, she said, what kind of energy are we putting out there? Are we thinking stinking? Are we thinking, boy, this person's just not moving anything. This person's really not doing anything. This is so frustrating. If we're thinking that, we're putting the energy out there. So she made that point, that what energy we're putting out there makes a difference. And then she made a point. In fact, I'm going to bring this up. I just posted this on I'm promoting a healer in every page home. This was the formula that she put out at the beginning of her video. That's worth talking about. So this is what she put out there. Observed action plus observed results equals inspiration. So I have said before that what we are doing duplicates, right? And we've all experienced that, I'm sure. So observed action. So when people are not actively building, they're looking back at us. What are we doing? And when they see that we are in action, that we are getting results, then they are inspired to come back and do it again, or to get moving and do it better. Okay, be more active, whatever the case may be. And so I really loved this formula, and I think it's really true. Okay, and so I've always said that the answer to all of our problems in our business is to get back to enrolling, building new leaders, finding new people, and working with them, and moving on from those who aren't ready at the moment. Okay, Deb Erickson talks a lot about ready, willing, and able. And today her Monday mindset class was phenomenal. She talked about ready, willing, and able, or not yet. And that we go back and give little touches again and again and again, without that follow-up phrase necessarily, but that we give little touches again to check in and see if they are ready, willing, and able now. Okay. So anytime we need to correct something that's going on our team or not going on our team, it really does come back to us. Observed action. When our team members, when our leaders see us working and building and getting results and creating a new builder, launching a new builder, whatever is going on, then they are inspired back to action. Okay. So consider that as we talk about what Tanya Cotterell shared. Let me pull up my notes again. Hang on a second. So she said in Kona, Hawaii, when they had the Blue Diamond Presidential Diamond Summit, they were asked to list the top 5 things that they did in 2018 that actually moved their business forward. So I want to ask you to do that with me today. List the top 5 things in the past year that have really facilitated moving your business forward. What are those actions? What is it that you did that put momentum back in your business building efforts? Share with me. What's going on? What can we talk about with that?
For me, Debbie, activity, mindset, just accepting responsibility. If your business sucks, it's because you suck.
Yeah.
I just want to say that in a nice way, but I don't know how, so I'll just do it the guy's way. Look, yeah, just so accepting responsibility that, we have a lot. Sometimes, you may be in a position where you have a lot of responsibilities, and that's the nature of it. If you're a single mom with small children and stuff, you've only got this amount of time to do your business. You've got to see that in that light. But if you what you do with that time, and how you can change that, if that time is not being productive, you accept responsibility. And that doesn't mean things are going to change overnight, but it will change. And it's all about the person as well. So that's also been a very important thing for us, is when we forget about the numbers and the classes and this and that, if we just focus on the needs of the people.
Right.
I'm still working on it, by the way. Stay tuned. Watch this space.
I think that's a daily reminder. Wouldn't you agree? It's a daily reminder to check in and see where we're at. And I think that's where Deb Erickson has been so very helpful, is to help us check in, to start our day, and periodically throughout the day reassess where we're at, to make sure our confidence is high, to make sure we are coming from a place of the heart, to make sure we're meeting their needs and stepping outside of that what's in it for me to what's in it for them as we're working with them. Okay, that's really key. And so making it value oriented according to their needs and not our needs is really key. Anytime we go to a place of desperation, my experience is that I never enroll, or it's not a good experience. Anytime they feel my desperation of getting numbers, building volume, getting enrollments, it's never a good place to be. And so we have to step back and make sure we're coming at it from the place of the heart. And I believe
And Debbie, you know, that's a hard thing. If someone is really desperate, if they're in a really difficult financial situation, they're like, I really, really, really need this. And I think that, you know, with like Deb Erickson, you need to get yourself you need to psych yourself up and just sit down and say, look, am I thinking desperation? Am I thinking something's got to change financially or we're going to tank? And, you know, exercise of gratitude would help change that around pretty quickly. If you sit down and just count out 10 things that you're grateful for. And if you could see yourself, your situation, how it's much better than lots of other people, then that helps to dispel that energy before you go into, you know, a teaching event like that. Because we do all have difficulties, and I think it's just a natural tendency for us to focus on weaknesses and to try to get ourselves out. You know, it doesn't matter. I always like that book, Millionaire Next Door. It doesn't really matter how much you make. Because there's like doctors that make $500,000 a year and they're broke. You know, and there's people that, you know, they make $50,000 a year, but they're millionaires, just because the way they think and the way they manage their money, they live below their means, and, you know, the increase just happens. It piles up instead of, you know, living above your means and spending it all. But yeah, just sitting down and think out some gratitude and get yourself out of desperation before you go talk to people.
Absolutely. Really key important. And there was a great deal of talk on the gold and platinum page this week on that. That was so good. In fact, let me bring that up. What they talked about was, if you take a look at what you make as a gold or above, and some of you aren't quite there yet, but you'll get there. When you take a look at what gold and aboves make, you are in the higher echelon of all network marketers, period, to have that monthly income coming in. So I agree. Place of gratitude is really, really key. Okay. And so help me list here. What has it that's really moved your business forward that you've implemented in the past year or more or less, that you want to share with us today? What do you know works every single time to build momentum in your business?
I'll talk again. I'm sorry, I just have lots of ideas right now.
You're being too quiet, Ben.
You know what? It's just, I've got a list of people. It's the first thing that we do. One of the first things that we do with a new builder is, you know, let's put together a list. I continually, I've added people to my list. In fact, I just thought of someone else I can add to my list. You know, my neighbor yesterday is saying, so itchy. And I'm like, I got something for that. So I ran him over some lavender peppermint and a little spray thing, and he thanked me and everything, and I'll follow up with him. And, you know, it's been with him, it's been this continual conversation. That's what it's always got to be. But add people to, and I'm finding other people I can add to this list. May not be people I know, but people who have expressed an interest or something. Like, we put our events on Eventbrite, and every once in a while people will register but not come, and that's a common thing. Well, people say they'll come to class, but, you know, they don't come. But I didn't ever do anything about that. But now I've added them to my list, you know, and I'll reach out and try to connect with them. And so I just got a text while you were talking from this guy. He said, I've been messaging him for the last month or so. I just met him at a networking event. He said he was interested, and I said, would you mind if I tell you when we have essential oil classes in the area? He said, yes. Bingo. Permission to market to him. And so I've been sending him texts every week. Hey, this is what our class is on this week. This is how it'll help you. And, you know, he hasn't come to any of them, but he just texted me and said, look, I really intend to come to any of it. Life's just been busy. And so it's just like email marketing. just keep on sending out those messages, and people, they, you know, maybe in their email box, and, you know, every once in a while they get emails and everything. They're still interested. It's just things haven't sorted out. Then when a solution comes around, like a promotion or something that just fits and speaks to them, that relationship's been built because you've worked on that relationship. It's kind of like what Deb Erickson said in the her Monday Mindset thing, where you just keep on touching them, you know. So it's the same thing that we teach to people who are launching. Get that list together and work the list and go through it. You know, I have a list of prospects, a list of new members and builders, and they all have special needs. And I don't send out, like, I don't copy this message and send it out to everybody. I go through my list, and it doesn't take very long. When I've got like 20, 30 people that I message about my local classes. I'll just go through one at a time. Special message. There you go, special message. It helps to do it on the computer so I can type faster, but that's not always possible. So I just tell Siri what to type. And that helps with time. But you can move through that list, you know, within 30 minutes or so. And they're a lot more effective when they have a, you know, some personal connection.
Absolutely. Very good. All right, so I love that, adding to your list at every opportunity, gathering contact information. Something that's really helped me is to reconfigure the time that I'm spending on prospecting and building instead of managing my team. I've really worked at swapping that time so that I'm not spending all my time managing or in preparation. In fact, my change to these Tuesday night classes and having repeating classes that I don't really have to spend much prep time for is going to help me significantly in my efforts to swap my 80-20 back to where it needs to be. 80% building my business, 20% managing my business. That's been a real big thing for me personally.
Can I say that? That's an awesome thing. Sorry, I keep on talking in here.
Good.
But you know what? There's really successful business guy, and I don't know what his name or anything, but he says if you are not saying the same things over and over, you're doing something wrong. So don't be afraid to teach the same things over and over and over and over and over, because we all have new people. You know, at convention, it's basic information. It's because most people that come to doTERRA convention are new to doTERRA. They've never been to a convention before. Most people that are going to come to our online classes or, you know, come to our classes, they've never heard that material before. And if they have, you know, it's okay if they have a refresher. So sometimes I feel like people feel like they have to come up with new topics and new classes and everything. But just create your content once and repeat it. It's just get really good at your message. You'll feel more confident. You have, like Debbie said, a lot less time. You know, you don't have to go through every essential oil, even though Jade's done that. So that took a lot of time, and her intention was that so other people didn't have to take that time, and she wanted to learn the essential oils herself. But there's, you know, just rinse and repeat, say the same thing over and over. Don't be afraid to do that.
Very good. Thank you. All right. So one of the things that Tanya brought up in her video was that she brings herself to a place of quiet every day. In fact, she realized what she had been doing, and she realized she had only done this 5 times in the last year. And she decided, I need to do this 5 times every month or 5 times every day. So I want to do this exercise with you today. I want you to just be quiet for a moment and just think about who do you need to reach out to on your team? Who has been using these products for some time? Who knows they work? Who might you reach out to with creating an income conversation? Would you be open to learning more how you can create an income with sharing doTERRA? Would you be open to learning how you can make doTERRA your side gig for income? Would you be open to building a business with doTERRA? Whatever you want to say, who can you reach out to? And I want you to just be quiet and listen to the names that come. I just made a note. Brittany's frontline enrollment. I can't remember her name right at this moment. Think those names that come to mind, just jot them down, get them down on paper. Now think about where you need activity on your team. What team members are in those legs where you need to increase activity? Do you have anybody that we can reach out to? Is there anybody that you can reach out to rather? Okay. Where do you need activity? Where do you need more volume? Can I call them and ask, who do they know that I need to be talking to? So Tanya just recently completed, last week, I believe, before she did this video, last week she completed a team, what would she call it? What'd she call it? A team building activity, a retreat. And she had all of her leaders there at this retreat. And she asked them on the spot to do this, to send text messages or email messages on the spot while they were together. She gave them some time to do this. And she said that they came over with more than 60 conversations in the course of a very short time where they were actually moving. And so we did this recently at base camp. Wendy was there. Dia, were you at base camp? I can't even remember now. Okay, you were gone. So Wendy was there and several others of my team were there. And Justin Harrison had us do a live text blitz to create momentum in our business. I'm going to suggest that a live text blitz on the spot, taking 30 minutes with your team members at a team meeting, on an online class, online team building call, take 30 minutes or whatever you need to actually do a text blitz and reach out to these people. But Tanya did this, and she said she reached out to those to find conversations of who would be interested, and she focused on building a business. And when she focused on building a business, still, they created amongst the group of them more than 60 conversations to invite people into the business, or at least to take a look at the business opportunity. And so very often we're not even putting it out there. We're looking for business builders, but we're not having building conversations. And when we don't put it out there, we will not find builders. So we have to put it out there. We need to have a business conversation, in my opinion, in every conversation. And who do you know that we could help? Who do you know that would benefit from learning the same information? Now, Wendy, in answer to your question, I need to put that lead retrieval earlier in my class. Consider starting your class as you talk to people today, and as you set your intention for the class, let them know that names will come to mind. Expect it. Plan on it. They will. And the very first time somebody hears about doTERRA is the most opportune time to say something like, names will come to mind as we're talking today. And I've given you this piece of paper, or I'm going to invite you to write it down on your handout here in this area. Show them. Okay? So write down in this area, who comes to mind as we're talking today? Who can we help? Who needs to learn this same information? And we want to get them to a class as well. So inviting them at the beginning of your class, and then periodically throughout the class, checking in. Who has some names on their list? Throw out a freebie. Throw out a giveaway. Who has 5 names on their list? Who has 10 names on their list? Throw out a giveaway. Give them incentive to get names on their list of who they know that need to hear this same message. And then at the end of the class, give those giveaways. So they got to stay to the end in order to get those giveaways, okay? Or you can throw it out at the time, whatever you want to do, okay? There's options there, all right? So I found that really a cool experience. And I think every time we make an effort to do this, we get better at it, and our end results are better as well. What she did at her retreat was she had them come up with a marker, and those of Wendy at base camp, Justin did this. He had us put it on a whiteboard. she had initially had them circle it in red once they had a call. She started having them circle it in green, because green was the color of money, green was the color of growth, green was the color of progression, and she started having them circle it in green, and it made a big difference in how many people were jumping up for the whiteboard. Okay. Anytime we're feeling like we are too busy dragging our qualifiers, that we need to resurrect our qualifiers, that it's easier to give it. I just want you to know that it's easier to give birth to a new qualifier than it is to raise the dead. That's what she said. Okay, so those are her words. It's easier to give birth to a new qualifier than it is to raise the dead, right? So when you're frustrated that your qualifier leg is not holding their end of the bargain, build a new one, okay? So again, the answer to all of our problems in this business is to keep talking to more people, to keep being actively building our business, not just complaining about our leaders not doing what we need them to do, okay? Tanya said, this mission will carry on with or without us. We need to adapt and adjust. If we are filled with doubt, desperation, if we're dragging, feeling afraid, and don't feel like we can carry on, that message is going to go down to our team. They're going to feel it, and we're going to see the ramifications of that. So we need to constantly be active in building, bringing new people in, and in doing so, we will inspire our team members to do the same, to duplicate us, okay? She said, really check your mindset and belief and determination. It's going to happen without me. I need to move others into my boardroom to get them around my table. She said, release the people you are dragging, and you will be open to better activity on your team. You will find your avatars. You'll be aware of your avatars much better when you release them mentally or emotionally and just let them come at their pace. I needed to hear that, okay? I needed to hear that. I needed to hear that. Release the people you are dragging. She said, sometimes it feels counterproductive to let go of qualifiers, but they are feeling our desperation and it's pushing them away. So be aware of what message you're sending out there, okay? If they've lost their mojo every time you call them, they're going to feel shame and they won't want to talk to you. They will distance themselves. They won't reply to your messages, your emails, your phone calls. They won't pick up. They'll actually go into avoidance mode and be further deepened into their funk, whatever that might be, okay? So she said, truly release them without an agenda. Sometimes it's appropriate to actually go to them and say, who should I be talking to that you know? And sometimes talking to those people might help build their team. And putting people, they can be our enrollments if we're doing the work, but plunking their people under them to build their volume where you need it. You just might find a new builder with their people that's your enrollment. Does that make sense? I hope that's not too unclear. So then she came back to her formula again. Observed action plus observed results equals inspiration. And she talked that when we see someone doing something good and we see results, we are inspired to duplicate what they are doing. And so our job as leaders is to inspire our team to action, not make them feel shame or guilt because they're not holding their end of the bargain. If they see you working really hard, they're going to get into action much easier than if they feel a guilt trip from us, okay? So she recommended the green circle strategy. Find areas in our business organization where we can make some green circles. We can actually find out who we need to be talking to, where we need volume. Maybe they're ordering every single month. Maybe it's a qualifying LRP. Maybe it's not. And we can reach out to them to see how we can best support them, better help them, see what health solutions or health concerns they're wanting to find solutions for, guide them a little bit, get into their circle of influence with some good questions and probing, okay? And so almost inevitably, when we look for opportunities, they are there waiting for us. So watch for it. Let's see what else she said. She said, it's in the mind that it needs to start. So our mindset is critical. Diversity is an important part of growing anything. not talking diversity into other companies, but talking about the diversity within our own teams and the fact that doTERRA is the best income generation machine. Diversity of builders in all their different strengths is going to facilitate our growth as well as theirs. We can never feel stuck if we keep adding people that can potentially qualify us. When we get stuck as leaders, we either dwell on the negative thought and beliefs, I'm stuck, don't know that this is working anymore, commiserate with others, look for evidence to support our stinking thinking, and then we get into a downward spiral. So anyway, it was a really good video. I don't want to commiserate on it or elaborate on it much more than that. But usually, if we are the sum of the 5 people we spend the most time with. So ask yourself, what 5 people do I spend the most time with? Are they lifting me up? Are they inspiring me to action? Or do I need to change out my circle of 5? So who are you spending the most time with outside of your family, okay? Who you're spending the most time with. And I think, we could put spouses in there. How are our spouses supporting us and inspiring us in our desire to build this business? So no, I'm not going to say exchange out your spouse, okay? That's not what I'm saying. But I'm going to say increase the circle of influence for positive people that get you excited to do this. And then you'll move forward. All right. Was that helpful?
I know I've learned a lot from all your comments.
Thanks, Wendy.
And Ben's too, even though he felt like he was talking too much, but I learned a ton. Thanks, Ben.
Yes, it was helpful, Debbie.
Yeah. All right. What do we need to talk about moving forward as a team? What can we do to work together better to create a little more, not a little more, how about a lot more momentum in our businesses? How can we utilize one another's strength? Ben, I loved Eddie Villa's call this last Friday. Would you mind sharing a little bit about your take home with Eddie Villa?
Sure, absolutely. Okay, so Eddie Villa, he's a Blue Diamond, and so me wanting to connect with other diamonds, I kind of hosted this, hey, Diamond Mastermind, let's get together and just chat on a Zoom call. I just scheduled it in my calendar, let everybody know about it, and a bunch of people showed up and we had a chat. And then someone suggested, hey, could we talk about this subject? I can get this guy to talk about this subject. And I'm like, okay, sounds great. Could do it. So Eddie Villa, he's a Blue Diamond, and he has done a lot with strengths using the Gallup Strength Finders 2.0 test results to help you unlock like what you're good at. And so always to me, I'm like, oh yeah, cool, strengths and everything, but I haven't seen how to train my team in that, or how to translate, my top 5 strengths into something I can do with. And so because I helped him with a few things, he got on the phone with me and went through my strengths. I plucked down the $39 to open up all 36 strengths, and chunked off an hour of my time in my schedule somewhere, blocked it off to sit down and study them, and then another hour to chat with him about that as well. So I told him, look, I can't see I can't see how this will benefit my team in terms of how can we translate this information into practical things that my people can do to take their business forward. Because otherwise it's just a personality test. Oh, yeah, that's so me. I'm like that. Yeah. But I mean, and if you go onto doTERRA's website, they have videos for each of the strengths. I didn't feel that those were informative enough. And so he showed a process of looking at your top 10 strengths and trying to get a picture of who you are. So there are 4 domains in the Strengths Finders system. There's relationships, strategic thinking, executioner, and then there's influencer. So if you look and see, where is your dominance lie? What's your dominant field or dominant? They're called domains, dominant domains. Yeah, and so he, we identified, okay, this is my dominant domain. It's strategic thinking, and then you come up with a phrase and you say, look at, you gotta realize that you're gonna do doTERRA differently from other people. So if you see someone else doing something and you do that and that drains you, or you don't find a success in that, could be a clue that that's an area of weakness that you're trying to function in. And so you want to identify what's your area of weakness and what are your areas of strength. So you look at your dominant places. So if you're like a dominant relationship builder, then you go back and you form a phrase, say, look, I am most happy and successful when I am building my doTERRA business in a way that honors my relationship building strengths. And then you look at your top 5 strengths and you say, okay, if I kind of color this with that domain dominance way of thinking, like if you are strategic, one of your top 5 is analytical or something like that, and you're a relationship building. So you say, like, okay, so if that's my dominant domain, can I use that analytical in my dominant domain to help me build my doTERRA business? And so you look through everything. You look at all those top 5 strengths through that lens of kind of that overall picture of who you are. And then we did that. We went through it and we came up with a checklist of items, things I can do in my business. Then we went through it and we came up with some things that I should avoid at all cost because it's just be draining. Do you guys want to hear a few examples? Okay, so one of my strengths is like strategic. That's my top strength. And I am also an achiever. And so I spend a lot of time with to-do lists. If it has a purpose, then I'm going to do it. But with a strategic thinker, I need to schedule thinking time, time to sit there and muse and think. And so I just check on my schedule. This is the time. I'm not going to achieve anything else except for allowing myself to just think freely and just muse and go over whatever ideas are floating around in my head. So that was one of the to-dos, one of the things that I came up with from that. Be a resource to other people. And so I've tried to do that lately this last week. Attach timelines and measures and to my, my to-do list and stuff. Breaking my visionary goals down into actionable steps. Find key players. Because I'm a relator, I work better at building key relationships with a few people than making, tons of friends with many people. So that informs me of how to do my business, is that I'm not going to go out there and make friends with everybody and their dog. That just doesn't work for who I am. And I've tried that, and Jade does that extremely well. But sometimes when I have this list of 30 people that I've got to maintain these relationships with, I'm like, it sucks the soul out of me. But, so I've got to develop a way in my business to continue to, help my people along, and also build those strong relationships with key builders and key stakeholders in my team. so that's what I did. Came up with my list and everything. It was really good. How I think what he's trying to do is kind of break it down into a process, or a way that you can do this with your team. So as I went through and learned or studied each of the different strengths, I came up with action items, things I can do. So, yep. And then I've met with a couple of my team members and have gone over this with them. So that was helpful for them as well. Is that what you wanted me to share, Debbie?
Thank you. One thing that really helped me, Ben, was when he said, look at your top 10, find your dominant domain. And sometimes if you got 3, 3, and 3, then you've got to attend to all 3 of those areas. But find your dominant domain in your top 10, look at your bottom 5, and get out of there.
Yeah.
Don't spend your efforts trying to be what you are not easily. And I found that really helpful for me. And I recognize that I'm doing that. I've been doing that. I've been trying to be someone I'm not. And then you get into that lack of authenticity. And I really don't care for that word, but you're working outside of your strengths. And it's painstakingly difficult. Painstakingly difficult. It takes so much more effort. My forte is not creating PowerPoints. It takes me 4 hours to do that. I don't want to spend my time there. Yeah. And so I loved that little tidbit of like your top 10 and your bottom 5. So he really told us we really need to unlock all 34 strengths and work within our strengths. And we will find that we are so much more happy, that the business flows so much more easily, that we connect with people so much better when we do it within our strengths. It was a fabulous call. I loved it. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for getting that done. Thanks for sharing. So I still got to go. I still want to do some more work personally to go through and find my top strengths. So, would you all be willing to send me your top 10 and your bottom 5 in an email, please? Would you be willing to do that? Send me your top 10 and your bottom 5. That would be really, really helpful. I'd appreciate that. Thank you, Ben, for sharing.
No problem.
I think there's still much more we can do on this strengths. I think we're still all learning. I think we're still all exploring this possibility. And for me, it's exciting. I did a one-on-one with Jay again the other night. And it was interesting because as we walked away, we talked about the experience and shared what I felt really comfortable that he did and what I was really uncomfortable with what he did. And one thing that is my strength is intellection and input. So I ask a lot of questions. I make sure they are doing the talking and I'm not, because I've always felt that if I'm doing the talking, there's no selling going on. If I'm letting them talk, then they hear it from their own voice and then they make the sell themselves. And there's nothing I'm doing. I just ask good questions. And so when my husband did most of the talking, I was uncomfortable with him not asking any questions. But his strengths were not my strengths. And so it was a really good experience to talk about it. And so I think it's really valuable to share your strengths. Get your spouse to do it too. As you onboard new builders, consider encouraging them, inviting them to get that Strength Finders 2.0 or to gift it to them when you are onboarding them as a new builder. I don't give that book out to anybody and everybody, but I do give it out to those who are committed and capable and excited about creating an income with doTERRA. And so then I have them find their strengths so I know how to better work with them.
We've given it out as prizes for our builders reaching key milestones. So, if they've earned it, all of a sudden it's more special for them and they go and take the test right away. So I have a place on my website where they can go in and report what their strengths are. And make sure that they're getting the book on Amazon. Because they'll get the book and either audiobook or the real book and the test for $5 less than buying it straight through Gallup.
Very good, Ben. Very, very good. Yeah. So Ben, let me ask you a question. What strength do you have that allows you to provide really valuable input?
Oh, okay. Yep. I know this. It's part of strategic and part of maximizer. Where I can see this is what this says. You can see the consequences and the results around the bend.
I knew we were kindred spirits, Ben, when you said that.
Yeah. How are you doing, Jay?
Really good. Really good.
Excellent. Says focusing on a problem is necessary to understand it and build a solution. I can help people see through the clutter. There's a lot of information out there. We live in the information age, and sometimes people get shut down and frozen because of all the information out there. So being able to dig through that and say, well, here's what actually adds value. The rest is fluff.
Thank you.
So I think that answers your question.
Yes, it does.
I'm not an expert, but I think that's where.
I love that because I really do appreciate all your feedback and all your input. So, all right, great. Okay, does that help? Your top 10, find your dominant domain, and then your bottom 5, and find those areas where you don't need to hang out there very long. Okay? Yes, we'd all like to develop all top 34 strengths, but it's going to be painstakingly difficult when we attempt to do that. So stick to your top 10, okay? Dia, you want to say something? And she froze.
No, I just thought that was I'm on Zoom. I wanted to look at my book least effective to see if those are the places where I can hang out in, because that definitely can not put me in the best mindset. So that's
Yeah, indeed.
that's the good thing. I hope that we see a little bit more with with the strengths and how we can help others and ourselves, right? To be able to like identify what our strengths are and how we can use that in our business, to be more authentic, to be more in alignment with like we shine. And I think that's, I got like a tidbit. I don't know if he's going to be doing other stuff. Maybe he'll be working more with doTERRA to, do more of that. The other thing I was going to just say, I just had a thought, as we, as you're changing up kind of, where you're putting your time and your efforts and kind of switching up the schedule, which I really am excited about, the Tuesday wellness classes. And, I was thinking about, what if we had something, with the, like being able to share the business opportunity. I know we have our builder call, right, on Fridays, and I don't know if this would just be to have somebody who's excited, like have a gal, she just messaged me this morning and has a friend who's interested in getting some oils, and she's like, what would be good for this? Like, and she's like, oh, I might sell somebody some oils. And, and I wanted to have a conversation with her about, trying to have more of a, how to kind of share this as a, and it would be so odd, or you know what I mean?
You've got a difficult connection, Dia. I don't know if it's your room or your home or what.
Lifestyle overview that you
100%. So in answer to your question about doing some kind of a repetitive builder thing, I have planned on the 5th week of every month to do that. I don't know that that's adequate though. So the 5th week in July, the 5th week in October, I will do more of a business, honing in on a business call, a business builder, a business building call. But I want to put little tidbits in every class, Dia, and I'm going to do that.
Yeah.
Okay? I'm going to
Yeah.
put invitations in every class
Yeah.
out there so you can see kind of how I plunk it in as I'm talking.
Mhm.
You know,
Mhm.
because I really want them to, I really want when they attend the Natural Solutions class, and really truly, I need your help to get people on those calls so I have actually somebody to talk to. Okay. I can't build connections or I can't get leads or get into somebody's circle of influence if I'm talking to myself. I really need your help to bring people to the call and be on that call yourself as well. And so, but I hope to show you how I do that, how I build the business into every conversation.
Yeah.
That's a real key.
Well, see, and I've had this conversation with her, you know, but now she's actually got somebody. So I just said, I was like, well, you know, I said, would it be helpful if, you know, I kind of joined in that conversation? And so we're looking at connecting on Wednesday because, you know, initially I think she was just thinking of selling her like you know, just an oil or, you know, and I, you know, but I want to have a conversation with her. I mean, she knows that we've had a little bit of a conversation that yes, and she's thought about, you know, maybe that she could, you know, anyhow, I'm trying to figure out how to like make, just so we can have that conversation and she understands that she can make money with what she does, you know? So anyhow, if that makes any sense at all. Just because it's just the time frame, you know, it's we have a little bit of time and I may end up just talking with her. She may not really get all the bits and pieces of what she needs, but you know, I want to obviously try to enroll her friend and see if she's, you know, ready, willing, and able, and if this is the time, or maybe it's just an oil for now, but at least presenting that as an option. And then talking to my friend about more, you know what I mean? So anyhow.
Yeah. For some people, their biggest pain is financial.
Yeah. Well, and I know for my friend, that's her biggest thing right now is financial. She's got a lot of financial stress. My friend that has this lead. Yeah.
And so sometimes coming at it with the business first is the best option rather than product first. We always come at it with product often first when really we need to approach it as a business. How many people do you know? Do names come to mind when you talk to people who have a side gig? That's a terminology that's just coming up a lot for me lately. That everybody has a side gig, or everybody's looking for a side gig, or everybody wants a side gig, or everybody's, you know, finding a side gig because we didn't talk about them with doTERRA as a side gig. That's come up a lot for me in this past 3 weeks. And so very often people are looking for a side gig where everybody needs an additional flow of income. And so when we fail to talk about the business opportunity, we miss an opportunity altogether. In fact, I have several people on my team in Casper, Wyoming, that are doing another network marketing company because we never talked about the side gig of doTERRA. And two more just added.
Well, and I think
added to the list of people who have dropped off LRP. 2 more this week. So we didn't talk about.
Well, I mean, and I just think it would be awesome to have something to just be like, okay, I'd love to do this little, you know, thing where it's just, I don't know. I still am trying to kind of figure out how to make that conversation feel like authentic, and I don't know. I feel a little bit lost sometimes in presenting that.
Your domain strength is relationship, though.
Yes.
So you got to come at it from a relationship. Okay. So I want you to think of a phrase you could use with relationship being your number one strength.
Mm-hmm.
How might you bring the business opportunity in with that in mind?
Mm-hmm. Well, this is a gal I already know. She's kind of interested, but it's, you know, it's just kind of, yeah, anyhow, it's navigating, getting, you know, having the conversation with her about how do you do this? How can you make this work when she actually has somebody who might be buying like Wednesday, you know, and she's really busy the next 2 days. We might not really get a chance to connect until I'm on the phone with her and her friend, you know what I mean? And so I guess that's kind of my more so my question is, you know, how to navigate that when it's, I guess really it's going to be me having the conversation with her friend and then having a conversation with my friend later about how, you know, she, if she enrolls, be like, you know what I mean? I don't know.
You can have a build a conversation with her.
I'm going to be the
Yeah, you can have a business conversation with her possible enrollment versus her if she's not had that conversation yet. And you're frozen again, Dia. I'm sorry.
yeah, sorry, but we can chat about it. I don't want to take
Yeah,
from everybody
let's
else
chat about it on the side. Okay.
when it's not freezing, but
Yeah.
but that's like, you know, something where if I had something where I could just be like, you know, I'd love to, you know, share with you more about business opportunity with doTERRA, and, you know, I can help you with, you know, how you can make money with this gal that she's going to share, that she's introducing me to share doTERRA with. And, you know, maybe she'll get an enrollment out of it, but, you know, that's the kind of thing is it's like, yeah, anyhow, we'll talk more about it when you can hear me.
Okay, we'll talk about it. All right. And
Okay.
we'll talk through some strategy of what key phrases might you use with relationship building being your number one strength.
Yeah. That would be helpful.
Yeah. Awesome.
You know, it's helpful to have someone as a soundboard for something like that, because, you know, we just kind of complicate it when we think about it over and over. It could be just as simple as, hey, you're introducing a friend. Would you like to get a referral fee for that? I can show you how you can get, you know, credit for, or is that something you're interested in? If she is, good. If not, just say, would you mind if I take care of this person? You know, I'll help them sign up and everything like that. Just make sure it's clear that she'll have to do some work if she's going to get commission.
Get the commission. Okay. Because that's basically, I think that's where I need some clarity around, is just being able to, you know, have that conversation with her up front so she knows, hey, these are kind of our options, you know, either, you know, would you like a referral fee, or are you thinking that, you know, I guess what would be the other thing that you would say in the event that she kind of, you know, or do you want to participate in the process and make a commission, you know, or something like that?
Well,
I don't know what you'd say.
I think it's in your best interest, if she is not ready and willing and able to do the business, that you take the referral, you put them on your team where you need them, and you take care of that person as if that person was your own daughter.
Got it.
Take it over, because if you are selling people like, hey, you can make money on this, all you have to do is sign this person up, but they're not willing to come to and do the training, do the membership maximization or the lifestyle overview, that's not doing a service to the new member. It's not doing a service to the, you know, even this person, because if they're not interested in doing the business, are they really going to put in an LRP order of 100 PV or more? So it's best if it's not completely clear, if she's not completely into the business, you just say, look, I'll take care of this person, I'll enroll them, and I'll give you a gift. I'll give you a keychain for recommending your friend. That way you get an enrollment, you get to put them where you want, you get to follow up with that person, you get to do the lifestyle overview, and there's a much more likelihood, higher likelihood of that person enjoying a natural solution wellness lifestyle. And that's your goal, right? Working is to help convert people to the natural solution lifestyle. So
well, and I think this is an area for me. I really appreciate it, because this is like an area that is a little bit of confusion for me, because either I've had people who have been interested, but no one is really repeating my efforts, you know, at this point. Or I have people that maybe I've helped them with this clarity but some of it is conversation, because I can't nail them,
Yeah.
or just as that hasn't happened yet.
And I think
Um,
we actually set ourselves up for failure a lot of times when we try to force people into the mold, when we say, oh, you want to do the business. And so we're going to just bring people to the class. I'll teach them. I'll take care of them and you'll get paid for it. And we set ourselves up for failure because they never become builders because we're doing all the building work for them. And then we get frustrated when they don't build. And then we feel like we're the only one in the business that's building. So just simply check and see if they're interested in that idea. And I say, my question is, would you be interested in teaching classes? I could show you how to do it and everything. Would you be interested in teaching classes to make some money on the side? If they're not interested in teaching classes and if they'll never get there, then they're not the builder you're looking for. Get in mind who you want as a builder. Have a list of qualities in that builder. If they don't match that builder, talk them out of it. It sounds harsh, but it's going to be better for you in the long run to focus your energy on people who are right for you. And if you get clear on who you want, this is the builder that I want. This is not the builder that I want. I don't want to spend my time training someone that I don't really want to work with. Rather, spend your time searching for the builder that you want. So unless they meet all those criteria, talk them out of it and talk them into giving you the referral, and you give them a gift. You take 10% of the commission that you receive for the initial enrollment, and you give them a gift. And then you take care of that new enrollment and make sure, because you're trying to build a base of customers who are purchasing on a regular basis. If this new enrollment is not going to be one of those people, it's not worth your time, because you spend a lot of time in maybe a few hours and you get paid $20, and if that person never orders again, that person's going to enroll under someone like me or someone else, because you have to have that relationship. And if you've kind of made a pseudo relationship, here's the builder, it's not really a builder, and you want them to do the lifestyle overview.
Yeah, and they're not doing it. Yeah,
exactly. So get clear on the big picture. Is lots of people under you that are purchasing regularly. That means strong lifestyle overviews. And if you're going to be working with the builder, make sure they're a builder. Present the
what I found
to everybody.
yeah.
What I found helpful is if I just painted a picture of what it would look like for them. Like I kind of said, there's kind of two ways we can do this. You can provide referrals for me, and then I kind of describe what that would look like and explain what the reward would be, which I agree with Ben, just take the 10% and give them that in product. And then I said, or you can make this your side gig and work at, creating an income. And then I painted a picture of what that would look like. And I said, either way is okay with me, but you need to decide, and you can change your mind later, but for right now, where do you want to be?
So when you paint that picture, what do you usually tell them that it involves? Like, you can make this your side gig.
And then I say it would involve doing a wellness consultation with them, which is a follow-up, and I explain what that would look like. I explain that it would be learning how to teach classes, giving out samples.
I'd say teaching classes and consultations.
Yeah, because I've done a lot of my stuff like one-on-one, and so but I also do classes too, but most of what I've done has been one-on-one. So okay.
Well, you're going to teach people
that's
about
really helpful. This is like just an area that it's been kind of a pain point for me, because I just really having that clarity for people, because I have a lot of people that I guess they don't really understand what's involved. And then there's people under them, and I don't know them because they enrolled them, but they're doing nothing. And those people are not being supported, and they don't know me, and I haven't been able to connect with them because they're not supporting them, and they've not on LRP, or they haven't done that, and so it hasn't really.
You didn't connect to them from the beginning because you weren't their enroller and stuff.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody,
Well,
I have
because
to. I have another
yeah.
appointment, so I have to go.
I
now,
do
so I'm just gonna
too.
say
But
bye.
thank you both so much. That was super helpful. So appreciate it. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much. Okay.
Yeah, move your new enrollment down if it's not too late. She's on your front line still. So I love you guys.
Text her. I don't know if she got
Yeah,
that.
I don't know if she got that or not. So
Okay,
thank
Debbie.
you. Yes, we'll
Okay.
call into this, and I thank you for your input, and I hope it's been a great beneficial call.
I've been multitasking the whole time, so I'm I'm just here.
Very
We'll see
good.
you later. Thanks, Debbie.
Thank
Bye.
you. Bye-bye.